Welcome back, friends. I hope you're having a good week so far. We are definitely in the middle of fall, a fall that, as my youngest reminded me this morning, can at times feel like winter. He said that because I had mentioned to him that early next week, the forecast says those little white flakes might be in the air. Whether they turn out or not, I don't know, but he wanted to find a way to say both fall and winter because of the mention of snow. But I do hope you are well this week, and I hope you were able to either tune in or be present for our All Saints Sunday worship service. This practice of All Saints is something that is still fairly new to me. I suppose for the last 10 to 20 years of my life, I've tried to embrace it, learn more about it. But growing up, I did not have the opportunity to learn much about it. It was not a celebrated part of the liturgy in my tradition. However, I came to find out that this practice of remembering the saints or looking back to our ancestors to weigh in on our present situation is both a rabbinic tradition that is most surely referenced by the gospel writer here, Matthew, but it's also a tradition that is shared by peoples the world over. This idea of looking to our ancestors for wisdom, knowledge, moral and otherwise. And so All Saints Sunday is an opportunity to not just remember, though we certainly do that, those persons in our life who have gone on and made the transition, those persons who helped to found the communities that we currently make up, as well as our ancestors in the faith that go way back and who maybe continue to inspire us. All Saints is an opportunity to draw on that wellspring of deep wisdom that can continue to guide us and strengthen us in these perilous times. I say perilous because we look at the world around us and there is evidence abounding to suggest that we continue to make missteps. We are not in alignment with God's desire for us as a species, and certainly out of right relationship with other beings. We see that because of the degradation of our planet, our home base, but also the way that other beings are treated that may not belong to the same ethnic or cultural group that we do. I hope that our All Saints Sunday worship and reflection gave us an opportunity to appreciate the fullness of what it can mean. The idea of listening to the wisdom of the past, but also listening to the voices that are calling to us from the future. The saints yet to be born, but who are already gifting us with calls, exhortations to live and move and be differently than we presently are. In large part because the world as we know it is changing. And in some very important ways, we have contributed to that change. It is up to us as people of faith who believe in and participate in a time to which we may not belong as we are, but that we know will, God willing, exist and come to pass, not only for our children and grandchildren, but for their children and grandchildren, and for everybody's grandchildren. We know that what we do now has major consequences. Even in the Hebrew scriptures, we're told 4 generations, and our First Nations siblings tell us 7 generations. So we recognize that there is a responsibility that we have to do different and be different, maybe than we have been. Coming together in worship around All Saints and on other Sundays gives us an opportunity to reflect on that much needed wisdom, and it serves as a reminder that past, present, and future are bound together in God's love and desire for creation. So if we can but open our hearts and our ears and our eyes to see, to hear, and to experience that desire, I do believe there is a way forward. That doesn't mean we know exactly how it will look, but I invite you to trust, not in me, but in this great process and in that creative divinity that is there at every turn, wanting to reveal to us the next steps, wanting to enter into a different kind of relationship with us. So rest assured, we are being sought out by those voices, by those saints, and by the Creator of all life, looking for us to do right, to live in right relation, and to rejoice that we have the opportunity to do that. So I hope you were able to take a little bit of that from my All Saints Sunday reflection. If you want to go back and you didn't catch it, maybe this will make more sense if you do, but I invite you to do that. And also join us this Sunday. We're going to do Remembrance Sunday. And I think it's not a coincidence that it's juxtaposed with All Saints. We, of course, remember the horrors of war and those that served and sacrificed. And we recognize, of course, today the travails of war globally. And so we're going to meditate a bit more on that as we prepare our hearts and minds for Advent, which is just around the corner. So thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great rest of your week.